A while back, I was actually in the Army Cadets. This was a initiative program thing run by the government, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. I found it amazing. I enjoyed all the stuff. And at one point, I even went on one of their big excursion camp kind of things where you'd go away for a week, learn a ton of skills, come back, and I thought it would just be something that could improve my discipline, help me on my self improvement journey. This happened last year. So I went for it. And I'm going to be telling you all of the amazing things that I learned from being in the Army Cadets. So let's get into this video. It's going to be a pretty long form video, completely unedited. I'm going for one take. I'm hoping I can get it in one take, but let's get into it. So the way that this started was I was interested in defense force and police and shooting and defending and having some sort of purpose. Okay, so I was interested in that kind of thing. I decided I can't really go with police cadets because that's not a thing, so I'll go with army cadets. It'll give me some experience. Maybe I'll get some shooting skills. Maybe I'll get some more discipline. Whatever it is, it should be able to help me in some way. So signed up, went there, got my uniform, did the marching, practiced on their campus and stuff. And after a while, I was invited to their I don't know, middle of the year or whatever it is. It's called AFX. That's what it was called. It was some basically camp you could go on for a week. You would sleep overnight, 2 nights outside or 2 nights inside or something like that. I can't quite remember exactly how it went, but I do know that I did learn a ton while I was there. So I'm not really going to drag on too much about the backstory. All you need to know is I was on an army camp and many things happened. And you'll get more of the story as I go through each of the things that I learned. So here is the first thing that I learned. Got my notebook out again. The first thing I learned was discipline. Because if I woke up in the morning and I didn't feel like getting out of bed, bad luck. You'd be forced to get out of bed. Ding, 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 all the lights are on, there's people screaming and yelling, you've got to get out of bed. So I didn't get a choice to be lazy. They took away that choice, meaning that discipline was forced. And that was good. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the discipline aspect of it. And actually, I kind of outcompeted a few other of the cadets there, just because I already had a good level of discipline before I even went into the Army Cadets. So, waking up early in the morning, doing my teeth and hair, doing all my other stuff, doing my exercises, and waking up earlier than everyone else was really easy to do. Same with setting up tarps and tents and all this other stuff. It was very easy to do. So it taught me a lot about discipline because we would go out on the first day. We arrived at their base of operations, and the first day we were just to set up tons of tents. That's all we did. We spent the whole day setting up tents in the boiling hot sun. Not a very fun thing to do, but that built a ton of discipline. So doing the hard work was something you were forced to do. You'd be like, you have to do this. This is your job, you're doing it. This is your job, you're doing it. This is your job, you're doing it. Discipline was a must, and it did teach me a good amount of discipline. My discipline definitely increased after going to the Army Cadets. So that was the first thing that I learnt, and that was a very valuable lesson because I thought my discipline was good, but after coming out of the Army Cadets, I thought my discipline was not that good, and this definitely helped me in a ton of ways. The next thing was commitment, because if you were going to do something, you had to do it. Okay, if you were going to go on this excursion camp thing, you're not going to go home within 2 days just because, oh, it's too hard, I got sick or something, because there was many things that happened along this 1 week period. The first day, we were setting up tents, everything's fine. The second day was a Monday, and we were going for a marathon run around this massive lake. Some big run, went for ages, about half an hour to an hour, non-stop running. I enjoyed that. That's what I did. Perfectly fine. Tuesday, I managed to catch a cold, which I thought I had COVID, but I didn't. I caught a cold, and that was from some sick kid who was in a car. And at the time, I actually had a problem with my foot, I had an ingrown toenail, so I was getting that fixed, and so I was going to go get the toe fixed and get it rewrapped and all that stuff. And we were in a car, and the other kid who was in the car with me going down to their medic station was sick. No one had a mask. So I ended up catching a cold on the second day. Also, On that second day, we also went out to a shooting range to go and shoot some rifles. While we were out on the shooting range, I was on the brink of hypothermia. I can remember that now. So I got sick, I was on the brink of hypothermia, and I thought, this is fun. I like the discipline aspect of this, where I am sick and dying, I'm just going to keep going. So kept going, pushed through, perfectly fine. Wednesday, I had a full-on cold, felt absolute rubbish. Then we were to go on some, and it's basically like conquering your fears aspect of it. So I managed to conquer a few fears that I had there pretty easily. That wasn't too hard. Still had the cold and was getting a lot worse. And on Thursday, which is not too good, on Thursday, I caught the cold was at its absolute worst. And waking up Thursday morning, I went down to their toilets, as I would normally do in the morning. And at night time, I didn't wake up at all during the night, because normally I'd wake up in the middle of the night, drink some water, and keep myself hydrated. But I didn't wake up at all, and that was because of the cold. So I woke up in the morning, and instead of drinking water and rehydrating myself, I skipped it. You can see where I'm going with this. Go to the toilet, I feel sick, my ears are ringing, I go, what's going on? And I pass out. Wake up on the floor, the tons of people are standing over me. I thought that I was dreaming that I was at the Army cadets in the first place. But I passed out twice, caught a cold, was on the brink of hypothermia, and smashed the back of my head after I passed out. Plus I had the ingrown toenail and all of this other stuff that was happening. And the only thought that I had during this, which is moving on to my next topic, the only thought I had during this was, I'm not quitting. I've come this far. Okay, I wanted to do this. I'm not stopping. Like, seriously, why am I going to stop? That's just pathetic. And also, I wasn't going to let down the people who were in my group. I wasn't going to leave them, because on the day that I actually passed out, they said, you can leave, you can go home if you want to, we can call up your parents, and, we can take you back, and it'll be all fine. You should probably go home, you passed out. And I was like, no, I'm not going home. I'm not leaving them to pack up all of my stuff and sort out all of the stuff and, take my responsibility. That's my job. And I'm the one who's basically managing this group. I know that I'm more disciplined than them. I have more logic than them. I can help them in a massive way, and I definitely want to stay. So I stayed, stuck with my team, with my tribe of little tiny community that was my group. And we continued through until the end of the week, perfectly fine. So that brings me on to the next point. So commitment in staying and not giving up. I wanted to do it, I'm staying. That's it. Okay, this is going to help me in some way, and I'm going to push through, because that's discipline. The next thing was, it taught me about the real power of a brotherhood and tribe. Because we were able to get so much done, and we were able to learn so much just from working together. The whole purpose of this AFX Army Cadets thing was to push through and to work as a team. If we didn't work as a team, we would have got nothing done. We needed to work as a team. So teamwork was a massive lesson that I learned, because normally I would always try to do stuff on my own. I was like, I could work with you, and I know that if I'm, let's say I'm more logical than this person who I'm working with, it would be so annoying to the things that I notice, they won't notice. So I'll be like, oh, you should obviously just put this here. And they'll be like, why would you put it there? So then I have to explain to them why you would put it there, when I would just see it very obviously. So people with less discipline, less logic, and less control of their emotions are really hard to deal with when you're trying to work as a community or tribe or team. But that is teamwork. It's being able to manage and work with each other. You use each other's good aspects. So if someone's more logical than me, I'll let them do all the logical thinking. If I'm more disciplined than them, they should let me do all of the things that require lots of discipline, as well as help them to be more disciplined and them to help me to be more logical. You try to build up each other in the areas that you're good at, but they're not. And you just work as a team. It's about managing how you can work with other people, even though they might be better than you or worse than you in some areas. Even if people are annoying, you've got to control your emotions and work as a team. And this is a big lesson I learned back then from AFX. The next thing was positivity, because if you sat there and thought of all the negatives, the whole thing would be boring and unhappy and unfun. But I sat there and was like, this is epic. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm at my most disciplined point, I'd probably say, ever at that time. And I'm going to continue to push through this. There's amazing things that have happened. We've done plenty of activities. I've got to shoot a live rifle. I've got to learn survival skills. We've got to do camouflage techniques and plenty of other fun things that we could do. And really, 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 really was worth it. And if I'd had a negative outlook on that, it wouldn't have been as fun as it was, and I probably would have quit. So having a positive outlook on life is necessary. You should always have a positive outlook. There's a thing that I've realised just in the last few months, which is not everything is positive or negative, just as not everything is bad or good. Some things are completely good and some things are completely bad, but majority of things lie in between. For example, if you were to eat protein, you go, protein's good, right? If you eat not enough protein, that's bad for you because you need protein, so you need to eat more. But if you eat too much, that's also bad for you. So you've got to get that right amount. There's a certain final area you've got to get. Just as if you were to look at the most evil people in the world, there would always be one good thing they've done and one bad thing they've done, except for, of course, the most evil things. So most of these bad people, there's always one thing that you can take away from them. Almost always. Not all the time, but almost always. So always look for a positive outlook on life and a positive outlook on every situation. Because, yes, you need to learn from your mistakes. If you make a mistake and you just sit there and go, I made a mistake, look how bad it is, you're not learning. The positive thing is, this is a lesson. This isn't a mistake, this is a lesson. Learn the lesson, try again. Learn the lesson, try again. And if you have a positive outlook on life, it allows you to actually be more motivated to try again and again and again and to never give up. So be positive. Extremely useful. 12 minutes in already. Also, I just want to quickly cover, I've been talking a lot in past videos about my bracelet designs. And you got like this one here as a premium bracelet design. But these were the old ones. And if I find a bit right there, it might not focus. That little yellow thing that's not focusing, that's the fishing line string tassel. But it was a very small little dainty bracelet. These things were selling for $4 each. This will sell for 50. And I also managed to pick up all the extra stuff that I needed yesterday. The line. Apparently there was, instead of using cord or string, you could use stainless steel cord and string, which I thought the stainless steel wire was bendable, but this is basically like string. Like, you can do loops with it, you can wrap it, you can tie knots with it. It's odd. So I picked up a few things that would be useful. I just want to cover and show you what the old bracelets look like for anyone who's interested. As well as I missed 2 videos, and that was because one day I was trying to make up for more videos and I just completely missed it, and the second day I was sick and in the hospital for most of the day, so I couldn't get that one out. So I'll try and catch up with them, but I might not be able to. Anyway, moving on. It also taught me about logic, because so many people there just had no logical ideas. For example, we were trying to set up a tarp, okay, like this. And the problem with the tarp was that there was nothing holding the center up, so it would bend in like that. Almost so that, this would bend in and you'd have this very small little tiny gap that you would have to squeeze under. And fitting 3 people in there for my little group, the tarp would be falling on you. And if it rained or not, you'd have this big puddle just like laying on you. So it wasn't very good, plus the rain would seep in some cracks. So I looked at this and went, well, let's try and stack up with little twigs. We can't do that because we tested it, didn't work. So the next thing I thought was, okay, what if I was to loop through somehow with a rope, loop through and pull it like sideways, because here it's bending in. So if I loop a little loop here on this side and then pull it that way, it should bend it out. Tried it, it worked, it made a big difference. Of course it wasn't perfect, but Nothing was going to be perfect, but logic was extremely useful when it came to AFX, when it came to the Army Cadets. Logic was amazing. And also, I just realised I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about Army Cadets. I should be able to. Army Cadets are good. Anyway, the next thing was humility, because there was at one point where me and my team got into a little bit of a debate trying to go, well, should we leave the tarp bent or should we not leave it bent? And I was like, we have to do this better. There is no way we're going to sleep in this. This is insane. Like, it's basically just crumbling down. If a little bit of wind picks up, we're going to lose the whole thing. So I was saying that we should keep working on it, and we've got plenty of time, so let's just put more and more and more effort into it. And another one of my teammates who was helping me, he was saying that just forget about it, leave it, it's fine, we don't have to worry about it, move on, we're going to have dinner soon, we're going to be doing the rest of our stuff, just forget about it. And I was just going, we've got plenty of time until then. Like, what else are we going to do? Sit around and do nothing? We've got plenty of time. Work on it. So we got into a bit of a debate, and I realised at the end that, you know what, it's not going to really be, it's not going to be that good, and there's no way I can make it better. And actually, me trying to make it better made it worse, because I moved it around in some way, and basically I lowered it down more, and I couldn't get it back up to how it originally was. And so me and my arrogance sitting there going, yes, just you've got to keep making it better. It's not good enough. You can't deal with this. This is insane. On and on and on and on and on. Ended up leading to the fact that I made it worse. So later on, I managed to. I realized that I needed to have a little bit of humility, and I needed to admit that was wrong. I should have looked at it a little bit more logically in that situation. I should have listened to other people's points instead of just taking the whole thing upon myself. Work as a team and actually solve it as a team, instead of just being me going, this is what we're doing, that's it. So, because of that, I admitted the humility, we shook hands, perfectly fine, and we moved on. Just like a tribe. So having humility is extremely useful. You need to admit when you make mistakes, because everyone's going to make mistakes. You need to admit when you make those mistakes so that you can learn from them, and so that you can not have these grudges that people hold against you. Admit your mistakes. If you were wrong about something, admit it. It's the biggest thing I see with so many people. One of the biggest is that let's say you get into an argument with someone. I see this very often. You get into an argument with someone, they'll be going back and forth, back and forth. You think you're right, they think they're right. You go back and back and back and forth, and at some point you realise you're completely wrong. But instead of admitting that you're wrong and saying sorry, so many people will just continue debating something they know is wrong, until eventually they just say some excuse thing to get out of it, like, that's it, I'm not talking to you, this is insane, I'm done, you're giving me a headache, leave me alone, I just want peace and quiet. Some rubbish like that, so that they don't have to continue the debate or the argument. They just walk away. And they have these, they both hold grudges against each other, you were wrong, you were wrong. This person knows they're wrong, but they won't go up and admit it. And even when they go, yeah, I was wrong, they never say sorry. They never come up and go, hey, I was wrong, shake my hand, I'm sorry, I apologise, I should have looked at that more logically, I should have taken your point upon, and I should have realised you were right, and I should have just admitted it when I knew you were right. No one apologises. If you have a decent level of humility, and if you don't, go and get that humility, but if you do, admit that you're wrong. If you were wrong about something, it's fine. It means you can learn a lesson. You can't learn a lesson from something you refuse to admit is wrong. Let's say you're in a situation where you know you're wrong, but you refuse to admit it. How are you learning any lesson? All you're doing is lying to yourself and debating against someone, making them feel bad about something that you know is wrong. Go up to them, admit that you were sorry, admit that you were wrong, and learn from your mistakes. Have some humility, it's very good, as well as logic, commitment, positivity, and discipline, because that's another really, really, really good thing. Discipline's amazing. I'm a big believer in discipline's one of the most important things you can have. So, one of the other things that I had was planning skills, because when you woke up in the morning, if you woke up at the correct time, you would literally have 5 minutes before you were called out, and they would call you out in your pajamas with barely any sort of decent clothing on, and it'd be freezing cold. They'd call you out, you'd stand there, and then you'd have exactly about 15 minutes after that to go and get fully dressed, to have done your teeth and hair, to have gone to the toilet, and to be back lining up. So, me trying to implement my normal routine that I had before that, which included exercises and meditation and gratitude journaling, was so hard. I actually ended up waking up about an hour beforehand and still didn't have enough time. And the problem was you'd wake up an hour beforehand and you'd be told, like, you're allowed to wake up an hour beforehand. But then later you'd be like, you're not allowed to wake up an hour beforehand. So I would just be like, yeah, I'm waking up, I'm just going to the toilet. And I'd fully dress myself. Now I'm ready. I planned ahead. When I was down at the toilet, I could do some exercises, I could do some meditation, I could do some gratitude journaling, and then come back. Just the planning skills came in handy so that I had a head start against everyone else. So planning is extremely useful, especially when it comes to business or really anywhere in life. If you can set a plan, that is good because you can follow that plan exactly, especially if you have logic. If that plan goes haywire, then you need to have improvisation skills, which is another thing that will definitely come in handy. So get that as well. The next thing this kind of taught me was optimization because when it came to optimization, it was like, do you choose to do meditation or do you choose to exercise? Because I'd wake up not an hour early, half an hour early. And I'd be like, meditation. Meditation's good for mental health, and at me being sick all the time, mental health is extremely important. But even then, I was still, like, at the end of it, I didn't do any meditation, any gratitude journaling, or exercise, because all of it came later on. And if it didn't, then I'd just skip it. And when I got home, I was like, finally I can go back to a normal routine. But the optimization and the planning skills definitely would have come in handy if I had better planning skills and better optimization skills. But yes, they are extremely useful even if I only had a limited amount of them. And the next thing that I would say is to never quit. Never quit if you're doing something. There is always a lesson to learn. And if the saying goes, if a monkey is banging against a wall 1,000 times with like a hammer, or maybe just with its fists, bang, 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 one of those little wind-up monkeys, bang, 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 forever. Eventually, that wall's going to break. So, don't quit. Continue trying. Eventually, you'll succeed, even if you try 100,000 times. There was a story of some guy, he created like 5,000 something prototypes for some product, and I think it was like his 5,127th product that he made. That was the one that succeeded. That was the one that blew up and became a success. But he didn't quit. It took him like 10 years, non-stop working. He didn't quit, and he finally achieved success, and he made like $10 billion from it. So never, ever, ever quit. And the last thing I want to I've definitely mentioned, is getting out of your comfort zone is one of the biggest things you should do. If there is an opportunity for you to do skydiving and you don't like skydiving, do it. Because getting out of your comfort zone is where you will increase your discipline the most because you don't enjoy doing it. But it'll also allow you to understand what is important and what is not a lot better. If you go skydiving, you'll understand that discipline is extremely important. Because after you get down, you'll be like, I feel amazing. I can't believe I did that. My discipline's gone through the roof like 100 times what it originally was. Man, I can do anything I want now. I should definitely have had discipline. So you'll realize the importance of discipline as well as commitment, because if you don't commit to it, then you'll feel worse about it later because you didn't do it, as well as other things. But discipline is found the most when getting out of your comfort zone, and discipline allows you to do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it, which is a quote by Hamza. So this was a pretty unscripted video. I've got a few more minutes left that I'll just go over some final things. I do want to mention that a tribe of people is so important, and if you want to go and join my tribe of people, like-minded people on self-improvement, completely free, click the link in the description, completely worth it, as well as my newsletter, which I post daily tips to, and I also am documenting my beating journey, which if you've been keeping up to date, it's doing pretty good. My beating journey, which made me about, if I worked 9 hours a day, 6 days a week, I would have made about $500,000 per year at the age of 13. But I wasn't disciplined and I wasn't mindful enough and I didn't see the big opportunity that I had, so I quit the beating business because I followed all the dumb advice from all of these online gurus saying, do what you love. yes, you should technically love what you do to a degree, but it doesn't necessarily mean you should love the process. You should enjoy the process and try your best to enjoy it, but normally it's the outcome that you love. When it comes to beating bracelets and when it comes to YouTube, I enjoy helping people, right? Especially with YouTube, I enjoy helping people. I enjoy providing value to you and helping to change your life. I enjoy teaching you all of the stuff I learned so you don't have to go through the same stuff that I did. The 1 year's worth of work I can cover in like 20 minutes worth of videos. So I enjoy teaching you stuff. I enjoy helping you out. But I, of course, don't enjoy editing videos. I don't enjoy scripting. I don't enjoy the planning. I don't enjoy the thumbnails and the titles and the, you know, going around using Dream 100 all the time, trying to just grow this channel. But I understand that if I do so, I will be able to help more people, and that's ultimately what I want. So I don't enjoy the process that much, but I enjoy the outcome. So doing what you love is to a certain degree correct, but mostly incorrect. And I definitely shouldn't have followed that at all. Alright. So I've got a few minutes left. I'll just cover a few more things. I am planning on, after this, because I'm not going to edit this video, so that means I'm going to try to make up the rest of my time. I have, it's 12 now. So after I finish this video, I upload it. I'll try and make a bracelet, which I will, I don't know if I can send it through my newsletter. And I'll post it to my tribe. You can see what it looks like, and I'll show you the price that I'm putting on it too. Basically, it's going to be the same design that I have here on my bracelet. And the idea is it's going to be using this wire, this stainless steel nylon coated cord. It's going to be using stronger crimps, which I purchased, which just basically seal the wire shut so it doesn't move around. It's going to be using wire covers so that it doesn't tear on the toggles, so they don't break. The toggles, of course, those things, or clasps that hold it together. Make sure the clasps are strong, use them. And yeah, this bracelet's going to consist of onyx, agate, tiger eye, sterling silver, and probably stainless steel, and that's probably it, as well as whatever the charms are made of, if it's steel or if it's zinc or whatever it is. It's going to be a pretty expensive bracelet, and I'm going to end up selling it for, I think it's about $150 you're able to get for these bracelets, what I found. I have to get the sizing right though. But I will be uploading a picture of that bracelet. This will be my first high quality $150 bracelet that I'll make, so gonna be great, gonna be amazing. I cannot wait to share it with you guys. I have this stuff here. I don't know. If anyone knows where you can get this a lot cheaper than $17, share, please. That's insane. I've got to find some cheaper alternative to that, because that's going to cost a ton of money. But that's like, what is it, 30 feet and 9.15 meters. I don't think I'm going to be running out of that anytime soon. So yeah, this is really all that this video is about, really unscripted. This is how I like making them on the weekends. I just want to provide as much value as I can in a video. I will cover a few more things, like, what's something I can provide? Like, definitely discipline. Mindfulness was another good thing that helped when it came to this. Mindfulness is so useful. You should be working on your mindfulness. You can do that simply by just being aware of things and questioning things. And there is a few more tips I want to definitely include, but I probably will include them in a different video. Like, go in really detail in another video. It might be the first one I upload Monday. But if you want to improve your logic, your decision making, your planning, your flow state, chess. Chess is so important. I've stopped playing chess for a while, but chess was so useful for flow state, it's insane. So play some chess. Get pretty good at it. Because chess is super useful. Chess is almost as good as boxing. If I was to pick two things for flow state, for mental health, for decision making, for planning, for improvisation skills, I would go boxing and chess. That's it. They're the two that I recommend you do. They are extremely useful. Give them a shot and you can see the results for yourself. And yeah, this is a 30-minute video now. So I'll just show you this bracelet before I end it. And I hope that you guys are all doing well. Keep up the good work. That is my premium quality bracelet. Right there. Except the problem that I had with these was that big gap. You don't want that at all. I realise I keep looking at me over there. But that's a really good high quality bracelet, test design, whatever it is. My beading business is expected by the end of this year to make 100 grand. 100 grand per year by the end of this year. I'm hoping if there's any spots left at the market, I might be able to get in tomorrow, but with all of the hospital things and trying to catch up on all my YouTube videos while also trying to get the bracelet stuff and all of this, I haven't put my focus into going to a market, which is a problem because that means I'll have to wait another week and my time's ticking away pretty fast. So I'll update you more on what I learn, and I'm planning on next week or either next week or the week after, I'll definitely be uploading a video about my beading business part 2, because as you noticed, my last one was about beading business part 1, giving you all the valuable information. I hope that this helped. If you have any tips for my YouTube channel, anything you'd like to see more of, if you have any advice for making better videos, for more editing, for making bracelets, or where I can get that stainless steel nylon cord stuff from, definitely give me a comment, go to my Discord server and send me a message. I'm completely happy for it. So, without further ado, this has been a great video. I'm not going to say anything random like all these other YouTubers do, where they sit there and blah, 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 blah. Keep up the good work, and I really hope you're having a good day. So, peace out. I realise I don't need to do that.